For over 4 months, students and their allies took over the streets of Montreal every day to protest a tuition hike imposed by the Liberal Party of Quebec. On September 21st of this year, the newly elected Premier of Quebec scrapped the tuition hike and repealed a controversial law that effectively banned public demonstrations. While this is being touted as a victory by many in the student movement, one element that made this success possible is already being overshadowed.
Street politics were a huge aspect of the strike and of it becoming what it became. People lost the fear and they didn't have any problem, any trouble standing their ground and fighting back and waiting to be actually beaten up to a pulp or pepper sprayed before they moved. And this was really inspiring. And that's how, in my opinion, that the movement increased and got bigger and got more threatening to the government or to the establishment. Obviously, there's the process of escalation of repression, of criminalization and all that. But that probably wouldn't have happened without the street politics, without the daily blockadings, the pickets, the hard pickets, and the radical element. And the fact that it's just like eventually it was not only about the tuition hike, but all of these other social issues that that are brought up by other social sort of actors, but also by the radicals. And the radicals, one of the things the anti-authoritarian and I guess the anti-colonial activists and the radicals in general are trying to do is to show that all these issues are interlinked. They're not separated, and that sort of translated into all these different people, the profs, the teachers, the students, all the people who are, usually involved in specific sort of struggles on a day-to-day basis to come together and make this movement more of a coalition movement of getting together of all these groups. To go back to street politics, that showed like all these direct action, and also there was a big debate among the movement. As part of the movement, whether or not direct action or a respect for a diversity of tactics was appropriate. After even just a couple days or a couple weeks, that debate was moot. And the notion that a diversity of tactics is very beneficial to a movement like this sort of won the argument, because it was pretty apparent that going down in the streets and fighting back and attacking capital and attacking the institution and the symbols of capitalism and fighting back against the cops was very much integral to a successful social movement or to a serious social movement. If you're serious about change and if you're serious about transforming, society and gaining things and fighting back against cuts and things of that nature, eventually you have to put yourself physically in the way of repression and of the reactionary agenda. So I think there's no doubt that the street politics that was to a large extent brought by the radical element was an integral part and a very important part in making this movement as big as it was, but also as militant and intransigent as it became.
To support this crowdfunded report, visit indiegogo.com/streetpolitics101. You can view our previous crowdfunded projects by clicking on the links on the screen or visiting our website, submedia.tv.